Liam had never been far from Earth, yet here he was, orbiting a planet that shimmered like a jewel through the viewport of the space station. Zyphora. The human research crew had been sent here to study the planet's atmosphere and magnetic fields, but Liam was more interested in the station's inhabitants than the planet itself. Humans weren't the only intelligent beings living and working here. There were others, species whose forms, colors, and abilities seemed almost impossible to imagine. Among them was Talira. Liam had noticed her from the moment he stepped onto the station. She was tall, graceful, with skin that shimmered faintly in the light of the station's core. But it was her scars that caught his attention. Long, luminescent lines that ran across her arms, shoulders, and even her face. They glowed faintly, pulsing like they had a heartbeat of their own. Most of the crew treated them with quiet respect. A careful distance, but Liam, curious and a bit careless, couldn't resist staring. "Hey," he said one morning, leaning against the rail near the engineering bay where Talira worked. "Those, marks, do they hurt?" His voice carried a teasing tone he didn't intend to be cruel, but it was unmistakably mocking. "They look painful, or maybe scary." Talira turned slowly, her amber eyes meeting his. There was no anger, but something else, an intensity that made Liam immediately uncomfortable. The other crew members nearby had paused their work to watch. Liam realized too late that what he thought was a joke could be interpreted very differently here. "They do not hurt the way you imagine," Talira said softly, her voice smooth but firm. "These are not wounds. They are proof of life lived, proof of choices made under pressure, proof of survival." Liam blinked. The words hit him harder than he expected. He opened his mouth to say something, but nothing came. He had meant to tease, maybe get a laugh, but instead he felt small, almost foolish. Talira's gaze didn't soften. She gestured toward her arm. "Each line tells a story of danger faced and overcome, of loss and courage, of mistakes and the lessons they taught me." Liam swallowed, suddenly aware of his own ignorance. On Earth, scars were usually hidden, marks of injury or accident. Here, they were living history. They were a record of bravery, and he had insulted that without even thinking. I didn't mean," he began, but Talira interrupted him gently. "Intent matters little. What matters is understanding. Humans often fear what they do not know. You are not the first to stare or to speak thoughtlessly. Learn now so that you may not repeat it." Her calmness, the quiet authority in her words, left Liam speechless. He nodded, cheeks burning. The entire room seemed to hum with tension and curiosity. Some of the younger humans shifted nervously, unsure if they should intervene or keep silent. Liam felt their eyes on him, and it made the embarrassment heavier. Talira returned to her work, moving with a grace that seemed almost unreal. The faint glow of her scars pulsed again as she adjusted the control panel in front of her. Liam watched for a moment, fascinated despite himself. He had come here thinking he knew something about bravery, about resilience, but now he realized how little he actually understood. Later, as Liam went about his tasks, he found himself thinking of her words. Proof of life lived, survival and courage etched into skin. He had always admired heroism in stories and films, but here it was real, living in front of him, and it made him feel small and eager to learn. By the time the shift ended, Liam had made a decision. Tomorrow he would approach Talira not with jokes but with questions. He would try to understand. He wanted to hear the stories behind those glowing lines, to see the world through her eyes. He didn't know it yet, but this moment, his embarrassment, the silence her words had forced upon him, would be the first step toward a lesson he would never forget. A lesson about courage, about respect, and about how humans could grow when they opened their minds and hearts to experiences far beyond their own. As Liam floated back to his quarters, the planet below glittering like a green and blue gem, he felt both humility and anticipation. The universe was larger and stranger than he had ever imagined, and somewhere in that vastness an alien woman's words had already begun to change him. The next day, Liam found himself standing near the observation deck, pretending to check instruments, though his eyes were fixed on Talira. She moved with the same quiet confidence, adjusting controls and scanning readouts. Her scars glowed faintly, pulsing like soft waves of light, and Liam felt a strange mixture of awe and guilt. He had spent the night thinking about her words, replaying them over and over, and he knew he needed to understand more. Talira noticed him watching, but she did not seem surprised. Instead, she offered a small nod as if inviting him to approach. Liam hesitated, then floated closer, careful to keep a respectful distance. I wanted to apologize, he said, voice slightly trembling. Yesterday what I said was stupid. I didn't understand. Talira tilted her head, her glowing eyes studying him for a long moment. Understanding often begins with embarrassment, she said softly. Admitting ignorance is the first step toward learning. Come, walk with me. They moved down the observation corridor together, past windows that framed the sparkling surface of Zephora below. Liam noticed that she walked without rushing, her every movement deliberate, almost ceremonial. He struggled to match her calm rhythm, feeling clumsy in his bulky suit, but she seemed not to notice. These scars, she began, her voice quiet enough for only him to hear. Tell my history. Every line is a memory, a choice, or a challenge overcome. In my culture, we do not hide them. We do not feel shame for them. They are part of who we are. Liam listened, fascinated. So they're like stories? He asked. Exactly, she said. Each one is a story of survival, of courage, of learning from mistakes. Humans fear what they cannot understand. They think a scar is a weakness. For us, it is strength. She paused, letting him absorb the words. Liam felt a pang of regret for his thoughtless teasing. He had never realized how much assumptions could hurt, even if unintentional. I never thought about it that way, he admitted. On Earth, scars are usually something people hide. Something painful, Talira nodded. Pain is part of every life. But strength is not the absence of pain. Strength is what comes after. Courage is shown not in avoiding harm, but in facing it and moving forward. My scars are not marks of injury. They are proof that I endured, that I survived, that I chose to keep going. As they continued walking, Liam felt a growing sense of respect. The way she spoke was calm, but every word carried weight. She had lived through dangers he could barely imagine. Even her simple gesture of walking beside him felt like a lesson in humility. Do you mind if I ask about some of them? Liam asked carefully, pointing to the glowing lines on her arm. Talira's gaze softened, but she did not withdraw. Ask, I will share what I can. She recounted the story behind one of the longer scars. It had been a battle with a predator on her homeworld, a creature much larger and faster than a human. She had been alone, outnumbered, and trapped in a canyon. The fight had been terrifying, but she had survived. The scar glowed brighter as she spoke, as if remembering the energy of that moment. And this one? Liam asked, pointing to a series of smaller, intersecting scars on her shoulder. Experiments, she said simply. Dangerous tests meant to understand the limits of our species. I volunteered to push those limits. I learned things I could not have otherwise known. Each scar reminds me of that choice. Each is a lesson etched in skin. Liam felt a lump in his throat. The casual way she spoke about life-threatening experiences, the clarity in her eyes made him realize how little he had endured in comparison. On Earth, his struggles seemed minor, almost trivial. But here, in this moment, he understood something deeper about bravery, resilience, and the value of experience. They walked in silence for a while, watching Zephora rotate beneath them. Liam's mind was full of thoughts, his earlier arrogance replaced by curiosity and admiration. He realized that Talira's scars were not just physical. They were symbolic, a language of life and endurance that humans could only begin to understand. Finally, he spoke, his voice quiet but sincere. Thank you for sharing that with me. I didn't realize how much I had to learn. Talira looked at him and gave a faint, approving nod. The first step toward understanding is recognizing what you do not know. The second step is listening without judgment. You have taken both steps today. Liam nodded, feeling a mix of humility and inspiration. He knew that this encounter would change him. He had approached her with ignorance and teasing, but he was leaving with knowledge and respect. For the first time, he felt the true weight of another being's experience, and he wanted to carry that lesson forward. As they returned to the main deck, Liam felt a quiet determination growing inside him. He would not only learn from Talira, but he would also strive to be braver, wiser, and more understanding. Humans were capable of mistakes, but they were also capable of growth. And for the first time, Liam realized that understanding and respect could be as powerful as courage in the face of danger. A few days later, the station was quiet, almost peaceful. Liam floated through the corridors, checking systems and equipment, but he could feel the tension in the air. Something was not right. Alarms had been silent for hours, yet the engineers' faces were tight with concentration. He soon discovered why. The sensors had detected an asteroid field moving closer to the station than expected. If the station collided with even a small fragment, the damage could be catastrophic. The crew gathered in the control room. Humans, Kelari, and other alien species alike stared at the main display, showing hundreds of rocks drifting in space, some tumbling wildly. Liam felt a knot of fear in his stomach. This was the first real danger he had seen in space, and it was not a drill. Talira moved to the front, her presence commanding attention without words. The glow of her scars seemed stronger under the dim lights of the control room, pulsing rhythmically as she spoke. "We do not have much time. If we do not act now, the station could be torn apart. I need volunteers for the repair and deflection teams. Those who remain here will manage internal systems." Liam's heart raced. This was dangerous, far more dangerous than anything he had faced on Earth or imagined. But when he saw the calm determination in Talira's eyes, something inside him shifted. He could run and hide, or he could step forward and help. He chose the latter. The team split into groups, each with specific tasks. Talira led the external repair and deflection team, and Liam was assigned to assist her with stabilizing a key energy conduit on the station's outer hull. The task required precision, speed, and courage. Liam's hands shook as he floated toward the airlock, but Talira's presence steadied him. "This way," she said, pointing to the maintenance hatch. "Follow my lead. Move carefully. Every second counts." As they worked outside the station, the asteroid field loomed closer. Small fragments bounced off the shield, sending vibrations through the hull. Liam had never felt fear like this before. But Talira moved with fluid confidence, adjusting panels, rerouting energy, and directing Liam when necessary. Her scars glowed brighter with every decisive action, almost like a living map of her courage and experience. "Hold this conduit steady," she instructed. Liam gripped it tightly as sparks flew around them. A larger fragment struck the station nearby, sending a shudder through their platform. He almost lost his grip, but Talira's hand steadied him. "Focus on the task, not the danger," she said calmly. "Fear is natural, but it cannot control you." Liam nodded, forcing himself to breathe steadily. He realized that courage was not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. Talira's words, her actions, and the glow of her scars inspired him in ways he had never expected. Hours seemed to pass in minutes as they worked tirelessly. The asteroid field continued its unpredictable drift, but the team adapted quickly. Every challenge met with calm precision, every problem solved with cooperation. Liam saw other humans and aliens performing incredible feats of skill and bravery. It was a demonstration of what could be achieved when species worked together. When fear was replaced with focus and trust, at one point, a fragment struck dangerously close to Liam, sending him tumbling across the hull. He clutched a handrail and tried to steady himself, panic rising. Talira shot forward instantly, gripping his arm with a strength he didn't expect. "You are not alone," she said. "We face this together." Her words and presence steadied him. He realized that trust, respect, and cooperation were as vital as skill and courage. Humans could survive challenges like this not only through ingenuity, but also through teamwork and understanding. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the asteroid field passed. The station shuddered one last time as the largest fragment slid safely by. The damage was minimal, the shields had held, and the internal systems remained stable. The crew let out a collective sigh of relief. Liam floated back to the airlock, exhausted but exhilarated. Talira approached him, her scars glowing softly now, like a gentle heartbeat. "You did well," she said. "You faced fear and acted despite it. That is courage." Liam could only nod, still catching his breath. He had learned more about himself in these few hours than he had in years on Earth. The arrogance, the teasing, the carelessness, everything from before felt distant now. He had witnessed true bravery, and it had left a lasting impression. As they re-entered the station, Liam looked around at his teammates, humans and aliens alike. Each had faced danger in their own way, and each had survived through cooperation and resilience. He realized that humanity had potential far beyond what he had imagined. When humans met challenges with courage, creativity, and respect, they could not only survive, they could thrive. And standing beside him, Talira's scars pulsed faintly, a living reminder of strength, survival, and the lessons that fear and courage could teach. After the asteroid crisis, the station had returned to a quiet rhythm, but the sense of camaraderie among the crew had shifted. Humans and aliens alike moved with more understanding and trust. Liam floated through the corridors, checking sensors and noting minor repairs, but he could feel a new confidence within him. The fear that had gripped him during the asteroid field was replaced by a determination to be useful, to contribute rather than just follow. Talira was overseeing a complex recalibration of the station's magnetic shield. Liam approached, careful to stay out of the way, but eager to help. "Do you need assistance?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Talira glanced at him, her amber eyes meeting his. "Yes, hold the calibration module steady. Its alignment must be precise. One misstep could create a feedback loop and destabilize the shield." Liam nodded, gripping the module tightly. The device hummed faintly, energy coursing through it. He realized that this task required focus, patience, and teamwork, qualities he had not fully understood until now. As they worked together, Talira spoke quietly, explaining the station's systems and the principles behind the shield. Her voice was calm and steady, and every word carried both knowledge and reassurance. Liam listened intently, asking questions when he could, eager to learn. He had spent most of his life assuming humans were the smartest beings in any room. But here, among these aliens, he realized that knowledge was universal, and respect for it was essential. During the recalibration, an alert flashed on the main display. A minor system failure in the life support sector required immediate attention. Talira motioned for Liam to continue holding the module while she moved to investigate. He watched her move through the narrow corridors with grace, her scars glowing faintly with every step. The glow was no longer intimidating to him. It was a sign of her focus and determination. When she returned, she handed him a diagnostic device. "Check the readings," she instructed. "Human engineers are often creative in problem solving. I will assist if needed, but I want to see your approach." Liam's hands shook slightly as he ran the diagnostics. He identified the problem quickly. A faulty valve that could have caused a pressure imbalance. He suggested a repair plan, and Talira listened carefully. After a moment, she nodded. "Good. Proceed. Your solution is practical and effective." The two worked together, their actions synchronized despite the differences in species and culture. Liam realized that courage was not only about facing external danger, as it had been with the asteroid field, but also about taking responsibility, making decisions, and trusting others. His earlier mistakes, his teasing, his ignorance, felt like distant lessons that had led him to this moment. As they completed the recalibration, another challenge appeared. The station's external sensors picked up a sudden surge of charged particles from Zephora's magnetosphere. The energy could overload the shields if not properly managed. Talira immediately assigned tasks, and Liam, feeling more confident than ever, volunteered to monitor the energy output and adjust the regulators in real time. Working with precision, he followed Talira's guidance while applying his own judgment. Each adjustment was small but critical. The station hummed with controlled energy, and Liam felt a thrill as he realized how much human ingenuity could contribute when paired with alien experience. Hours passed in this careful balancing act, and slowly the surge of particles passed. The shields remained stable, and the station's systems operated smoothly. Liam allowed himself a small smile, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. He had faced challenges that required courage, intelligence, and teamwork, and he had succeeded. After the work was done, Talira approached him. "You have learned quickly," she said, her voice gentle but firm. "You faced danger before, but now you face responsibility. This is the mark of growth. Humans have potential not only in survival, but in adaptation, creativity, and cooperation." Liam felt a warmth in his chest. The embarrassment he had felt when teasing her seemed so far away now. He realized that understanding others, respecting their experiences, and contributing his own skills were far more valuable than arrogance or thoughtless humor. As they floated together toward the central hub, Liam glanced at her. Scars which glowed softly in the dim light. They no longer seemed like intimidating symbols or mysterious marks. They were reminders of survival, wisdom, and courage. Each line told a story, and each story had become a lesson for him. The rest of the crew, humans and aliens alike, moved with a renewed sense of purpose. Liam noticed the small gestures of cooperation, aliens offering guidance to humans, humans assisting in ways that required creativity and quick thinking. The station had become more than a research facility. It was a place where understanding and respect created strength. That evening, as Liam prepared for his rest cycle, he reflected on the day. The challenges had been difficult, but he had grown. He had learned to listen, to observe, and to act thoughtfully. Most importantly, he had seen what humans could accomplish when they combined their ingenuity with courage and respect for others. And in the quiet moments before sleep, he thought of Talira. Her words, her actions, her stories, and her glowing scars, all of it had changed him. He no longer saw the universe as a place to tease or judge. He saw it as a place of lessons, of growth, and of opportunities to rise to challenges. For the first time in his life, Liam understood that true strength was not measured by physical power or clever words, but by courage, respect, and the ability to learn from every being around him, human or alien, and he was ready to face whatever the universe would throw at him next. A week after the surge of charged particles, the station had settled into its routine. Humans and aliens worked side by side, each learning from the other, but Liam could sense the tension in the air. Something was coming. He wasn't sure what, but the readings from the external sensors were unusual, patterns of energy that didn't match any natural phenomenon the crew had encountered. Talira was the first to notice it. She called a meeting in the central command hub. The room was filled with nervous energy as crew members from different species examined the data. Liam stood near the console, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. He had grown since his first encounter with Talira, but now, for the first time, he felt the real challenge of leadership pressing on him. The readings indicate an approaching anomaly, Talira said, her voice calm and precise. It is not like the previous asteroid field or charged particle surge. Its trajectory and energy pattern are unpredictable. It may affect our shields, or it may attempt to breach the station. We must prepare for every possibility. Liam glanced at the display. Streams of energy swirled toward them like invisible rivers in space. "Can we stabilize the shields?" he asked. Talira's amber eyes met his. "We can try, but this will require coordination, speed, and careful judgment. Humans, I need you to monitor energy distribution and adapt calculations in real time. Aliens, focus on external stabilization and reinforcement." Liam's heart raced. The situation was more dangerous than anything he had faced. But he no longer hesitated. He moved to the console, his hands steady as he began adjusting the energy flow, recalculating the shield's deflection angles. Talira moved outside the main hub, her team of Kailari guiding maintenance drones to reinforce the outer hull. Her scars pulsed faintly, a reminder of her experience and courage. Minutes felt like hours. The anomaly's energy surged unpredictably, testing every calculation. Alarms flashed, red lights reflecting off the walls. Liam adjusted the shields, reran simulations, and applied every lesson he had learned over the past week. Each decision was critical. One misstep could tear the station apart. At one point, a sudden spike of energy slammed into the shields. The force shook the station, sending floating tools and data pads spinning. Liam struggled to maintain control, his knuckles white as he gripped the console. Talira's voice came through the comms. "Focus on stabilization. Do not let fear control your actions." Her words steadied him. He realized that courage was not about eliminating fear. It was about acting despite it. With renewed focus, he recalculated the shield's energy distribution, diverting power to vulnerable sectors. Slowly, the anomaly's impact began to lessen. Outside, Liam could see the Kailari teams moving with precision. Talira coordinated repairs, guided drones, and adjusted stabilizers, all while maintaining communication with human engineers. Her scars glowed steadily, like a soft, pulsing light that seemed to infuse the entire team with calm determination. Hours passed in a tense rhythm of observation, calculation, and adjustment. Liam felt sweat gather at his brow, though the station's climate control kept him physically comfortable. The pressure was mental, emotional, and relentless. But through it all, he felt a strange clarity. Every decision mattered, every action contributed, and every lesson he had learned about courage, respect, and teamwork came into play. Finally, the anomaly passed. The station trembled once, then stabilized. The crew exhaled collectively, some leaning against consoles, others floating in relief. Liam allowed himself a small smile, though exhaustion weighed heavily on him. He had faced fear, responsibility, and uncertainty, and survived. Talira returned to the hub, her expression calm but proud. "You did well," she said to the humans, her gaze landing on Liam. "You adapted, you cooperated, and you acted with courage. Humans are capable of much more than you often realize. Today you have proven that." Liam felt a warmth spread through him, a mixture of pride and humility. He had begun this journey as a careless, teasing observer, and now he had acted decisively, guided by respect and understanding. The growth within him was undeniable. As the crew began to clean up and assess minor damage, Liam floated next to Talira. "I never imagined humans could do so much," he admitted quietly. "I mean, I knew we could adapt, but seeing it like this, it's incredible." Talira's eyes softened. "You forget that courage and ingenuity are not limited by species. Humans have creativity, determination, and a unique approach to problem solving. When combined with cooperation and respect, these qualities become powerful. Today you have shown this." Liam nodded, glancing at the other humans and aliens working together to repair the station. He realized that survival was only part of the story. Thriving, adapting, and learning from one another, that was the true mark of strength. As he floated toward his quarters later, Liam's mind was full of reflection. The anomaly had tested every skill, every lesson, and every ounce of courage he had accumulated. But it had also taught him the value of collaboration, humility, and respect for experiences beyond his own. The station was safe, and humanity had proven its worth once again. And somewhere deep inside, Liam knew that this was only the beginning. The universe was vast and unpredictable, but humans had the capacity to rise to any challenge, if they faced it with courage, understanding, and a willingness to learn. The station had finally regained a calm rhythm after the recent anomaly, but there was a new energy among the crew. Humans and aliens moved together more smoothly than before, their work guided by mutual respect and shared understanding. Liam floated through the corridors carrying tools and checking readings, but his thoughts kept returning to Talira. He had learned so much from her, not just about survival or courage, but about perspective, patience, and respect. He found Talira in the observation deck, gazing at Zephora below. Its oceans shimmered in deep blue, the forests in rich green, all illuminated by the planet's sun. She did not turn immediately when he approached, but her amber eyes met his in the reflection of the glass. "You have been busy," she said quietly. "I have," Liam admitted, floating closer. "And I've been thinking about what you said, about understanding others, about courage." Talira nodded, her glowing scars pulsing gently as if in rhythm with the planet below. "Reflection is important. Understanding is not only about knowing another's experience. It is also about knowing oneself and knowing the limits and potential within you." Liam considered this. He had entered the station as a careless observer, quick to joke and tease. Now he felt a quiet confidence, earned through experience, cooperation, and a willingness to learn. He realized that growth was not just about surviving danger. It was about changing one's own perspective. "Do you think humans can truly understand other species?" he asked. "I mean, sometimes I feel like we're so different, like we'll never really get it." Talira turned to him, her expression calm but firm. "Understanding does not require becoming the same. It requires respect, empathy, and the willingness to listen. You have shown all of these qualities. Humans have a unique ability to adapt, to think creatively, and to cooperate. When you use these qualities alongside humility, you can understand more than you think." Liam absorbed her words, feeling their weight. He thought about the past week, the teasing, the asteroid crisis, the shield recalibration, the anomaly, and he realized how much he had grown. Each challenge had taught him something about himself, about humanity, and about the value of working with others. "You've taught me a lot," he said quietly, "not just about your scars or your culture, but about courage, respect, and how humans can be better than we think we are." Talira's lips curved into a faint, approving smile. "I am glad. Growth comes from lessons, yes, but also from humility. You admitted your mistake, you listened, and you acted with courage. That is why you have learned more than many do in a lifetime. For a while they floated in silence, watching Zephora rotate beneath them. Liam felt a sense of peace he had never experienced before. The station no longer felt like a strange, intimidating place. It was a community, a place where humans and aliens could learn from one another, grow stronger together, and face challenges with courage and respect. "I think I understand now," Liam said at last. "It's not just about being brave in danger. It's about how you treat others, how you learn from them, and how you help them. That's what makes a species strong." Talira's scars glowed softly in response, a subtle acknowledgement of his understanding. Yes, courage and strength are not measured only in combat or survival. They are measured in wisdom, cooperation, and the ability to rise above fear and ignorance. Humans have potential in all of these. As they returned to the main hub, Liam noticed the crew working together more closely than ever. Humans and aliens communicated with ease, assisting one another without hesitation. The successes of the past challenges had created a new sense of unity. Liam realized that he was part of something greater now, a collective effort that transcended species boundaries. He felt a quiet pride, not in himself alone, but in humanity as a whole. Humans had proven their ingenuity, adaptability, and courage. They had survived unexpected dangers, contributed to solutions, and earned the respect of beings far older and wiser than themselves. And Liam had witnessed it firsthand. Later, as he prepared for rest, he thought about Talira and her scars, each glowing line a story, a lesson, a symbol of resilience. He understood now that her scars were not only her own, they were a teaching tool, a reminder that life, experience, and courage were intertwined. For the first time, Liam truly believed that humans could flourish among the stars, not by dominating or conquering, but by learning, cooperating, and respecting those around them. He understood that the universe was full of unknowns, but with courage, wisdom, and humility, humanity could rise to meet them. And somewhere deep within him, Liam felt a spark of excitement for the future. Challenges would come, but humans had shown that they could face them, learn from them, and grow stronger. He had learned the importance of listening, acting thoughtfully, and respecting the experiences of others. And he knew that whatever lay ahead, he was ready, not just as a human, but as part of a species capable of greatness. The station was calm as dawn approached over Zephora, though the soft hum of machinery reminded everyone that life in space never truly rested. Humans and aliens moved efficiently through the corridors, their cooperation now seamless. Liam floated toward the observation deck carrying a small maintenance kit, but his mind was elsewhere. The events of the past week had changed him, reshaping his perspective, his courage, and his understanding of what it meant to be human in a universe full of challenges. Talira was already there, gazing at the planet below. Her scars glowed faintly in the early light of the station, each line pulsing like a heartbeat. Liam paused, taking in her calm presence. He realized once more that her scars were more than just marks. They were symbols of experience, wisdom, and resilience. "Good morning," he said quietly. Talira turned, her amber eyes meeting his. "Good morning, Liam. You seem thoughtful today." "I am," he admitted. "I've been thinking about everything that's happened. The asteroid field, the anomaly, the shields, and everything you've taught me. I understand more now than I ever have before." Her expression softened. "Learning is the beginning of understanding. You have done more than just learn. You have applied what you learned, faced challenges, and adapted. That is what defines strength, not only in humans but in any species." Liam felt a warmth in his chest. He looked at the crew members working below, humans and aliens communicating without hesitation, assisting each other with repairs and calculations. The station was alive with cooperation and respect, a living example of what could be achieved when differences were set aside for a greater purpose. "I never imagined humans could earn the respect of so many different species," Liam said. "I mean, we're still new in space, still learning. But I can see now that when we act with courage, cooperation, and respect, we can really make a difference." Talira nodded. "Humans have potential that even you may not fully realize. Adaptability, creativity, and empathy are traits that allow you to flourish. even among beings far older and wiser. What you have shown in recent days is proof of this potential. As they spoke, a small group of aliens approached, nodding to Liam in quiet acknowledgement. It was a subtle gesture, but it carried weight. Humans had earned trust through their actions, and Liam felt proud, not of himself alone, but of humanity as a whole. Later, the crew gathered for a brief meeting to review the station's status. Each human and alien had contributed, their efforts recognized and appreciated. Liam observed Talira standing at the center, calm and composed, guiding the discussion with clarity. Her scars glowed softly, each line telling a story of challenges overcome and lessons learned. Liam realized that her presence had been a guiding light for the entire team, human and alien alike. After the meeting, Liam found a quiet moment with Talira again. "I want to thank you," he said sincerely, "not just for helping me understand your scars, but for showing me what humans are capable of, for helping me see that courage, respect, and learning from others can make us stronger." Talira's eyes glimmered with a soft, approving light. "You have learned well. Do not forget these lessons. They will serve you and your species well, as humanity continues to explore the stars. Remember that true strength is not only in surviving danger, but in how you grow from it, and how you treat those around you." Liam nodded, feeling a sense of closure and readiness. He knew that life in space would always bring challenges, but he also knew that humans could rise to meet them. Courage, creativity, adaptability, and respect would guide them, just as it had guided him. As he floated toward his quarters, Liam looked back at Zephora, its oceans glittering like diamonds and forests shimmering in green. He thought of the past week, the mistakes, the lessons, the challenges, and the growth. He realized that humans had not only survived, they had begun to thrive. They had proven that when faced with danger, they could act with ingenuity, courage, and cooperation, earning the respect of beings from across the galaxy. Later, as night fell over Zephora, Liam returned to the observation deck. Talira was there again, quietly watching the planet spin beneath them. For a long while they said nothing, simply observing the beauty of the world below. Liam felt a profound sense of connection, not just to Talira or to the crew, but to humanity's place in the universe. "Humans can be more than they believe," he said softly. "They already are," Talira replied, her scars glowing faintly in the dim light. "They are capable of courage, adaptation, and understanding. Never doubt what you can achieve." For the first time, Liam truly believed it. The journey that began with a careless joke had led him to lessons he would never forget. He had witnessed bravery, teamwork, and wisdom. He had learned to respect experiences beyond his own, to act with courage in the face of fear, and to see humanity not as limited, but as capable of greatness among the stars. As the station hummed quietly around them and Zephora turned beneath their feet, Liam felt hope for the future. A future where humans could rise to every challenge, learn from every experience, and flourish in a universe full of wonders. And beside him, Talira's scars glowed softly, a silent testament to survival, courage, and the lessons that had changed him forever.